Welcome everybody to Couples Academy Live. Today is relationship Q&A. Get your questions and join us now.
And good morning.
Good morning.
I am Hassani.
I'm Danielle.
We're Couples Academy. If you're joining us for the first time, this is Couples Academy Live, and every Friday we come to you to answer your questions all week long. You've been waiting, you've been wondering, you've been itching, right? You've been scratching, you've been chomping at the bits because you have questions that you want answered about your relationship. So whether you're dating, in a committed courtship, engaged, or married, we have information that will take your relationship to the next level. It's Friday. You excited about Friday?
I mean, I'm always excited about Friday, especially when we can do a date night.
Boom, y'all.
Right? And where's our thing we wanted to share with our audience?
I don't know.
I have
over
it.
There. Somewhere over
I have
there.
it. I want to share with you that you can put away all your excuses when it comes to the monotony of life and marriage, because you and I, have cracked the code. When things get monotonous, you order the 100 date scratch off bucket list.
The bucket list.
So this is super exciting because, Hassan and I are always looking for ways to spice it up and keep it interesting. It's especially important for us because we're married and we work together, which means we're together all day long. We're talking about business and we got to actually intentionally take off our work hat and put on our husband and wife hat.
There it is.
Put on our romance hat. So we have to be very intentional. And so I'm always looking for ideas. And a friend of mine had shared with me this book that has these scratch offs. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And we tried a little bit. And then I saw this. So I said, you know what? Let's get one. So I want to unveil this right now because Hassani and I are committed. I don't care what this says, okay? If this says you got to jump off of a building with no parachute, then you're going to have to do it, Hassan.
That's a lie.
Okay.
That's a parachute lie.
So here's the scratch off, and I'm going to ask Hassani to just hold it down here for me.
Okay.
And we're going to reveal the scratch off.
All right. Oh, this looks cool.
Yeah. So here it is. It's 100 dates, okay? So when you start running out of ideas, because Hassani and I, we feel like we've done a lot. We've done it all. So what's another date night? Going out to eat, watching a movie. So here we have this. So at the top, it'll tell you. The first one says, "Go for an afternoon tea." All right. Well, I mean, let's just. Hey, it seems simple and easy. Let's just go ahead and scratch it off.
Didn't it just tell you what we need to do? It says go for a tea.
That's weird. I don't know. I needed a coin actually.
We weren't prepared, folks. This is so spur of the moment.
But we're going to just scratch it off, and we're going to see what's beneath it. I mean, I would think that it would be like
maybe it's a picture of a teacup. It just told us what to do.
It's like, yeah. Oh, okay. So it wants you to do it real big and real cute. So has anybody ever been to London? You know that afternoon tea is a big deal. And if you've ever experienced afternoon tea, you go and you get little crumpets and cakes and things like that. And it comes out on a little tiered plate. It's really actually an experience. And I actually recently was thinking about taking Paris on a mommy-daughter day to do afternoon tea because she loves tea so much. You don't like teas, but you do like cookies and crumpets.
Crumpets? I don't even... Can I even say crumpets? Is that all right for a man to say? Like,
yes, you can say crumpets.
When I get together with my boys, we go in on some crumpets.
So there's a little picture here. It's hard to see of a tiered plate with cakes and cookies, just like you would see in Alice in the Wonderland where they have all the cakes and things. And I know a couple places where we could do something like that.
So this is your date for me.
I'm going to take you on this date. So we are going to enjoy tea together. And you know what, guys? Tea is good. Like, if you're getting Lipton tea from a box, it's not all that great to me. But if you go and get some really good tea and oolongs and all the different flavors, you'll be surprised how tasty it can be. So we're going to find a place to hang this up. We're going to scratch one each week, and we'll let you guys know how it goes. But get yours.
Where can I get this from?
I don't know, but just Google 100 dates, 100 dates scratch off bucket list. It'll come up.
Boom. All right, guys. I hope that you take advantage of this because this is how you bring the passion back into your marriage. Yeah. Give romance a chance and do something that you haven't done.
Yes, Bobby. Thank you. Remember
High
that?
tea. Right.
Yes.
Right. There it is. There it is. So This is your opportunity to ask a question, but before we do, let's just say good morning to the people. I don't have my glasses on. Foxy,
Hey, Foxy,
good
good morning.
Angel,
Vashan.
good morning. Vashan,
Hey.
good morning. Julie, good morning. Yogini?
Hey, Bobby.
Bobby, good to
Bobby
see
got
you.
the mask
Daryl.
on.
So many people calling in.
Yeah.
If you guys have a question, you want to send those in now. Robert, great idea. It is a great idea.
Yeah,
and I'm glad
let's
she
do
did
100
that.
dates. Christopher Rory.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, we're going to start off with a question, and we want you to just start flooding them in. Sometimes when we start off with a question, then you have some comments, and that's really what kicks it off. So the first question that we had someone write in was, how do I deal with my partner when they're defensive, right? And I think we all can relate to that because, depending on what we say, the way we say it, the environment, when we say it, what's going on in the person's life when you said it, you could get a whole bunch of backlash and attitude, and you really just was asking a question. And so sometimes it could be something as simple as that, as the person just was caught off guard and at the wrong time, and they actually need to work on how they respond. But sometimes, a lot of times when somebody is defensive about ordinary things, or defensive about a question that you're asking that's valid, maybe it didn't make sense, like, where were you for 3 hours when you said you were just going around a corner to the post office, right? If I ask you that question, that's a valid question. Sometimes the defensiveness arises out of guilt, right? Now, guilt in what? Depends on what. Sometimes our guilt is about actually what we're actually doing, right? Or sometimes we respond in defensiveness because of what we did, right? So now I'm defending in defensiveness because I know I did that and I have that guilt and I'm defending myself even though I'm not doing anything now. And sometimes we are defensive because of who we are, right? And so we feel like we're being criticized, our character is being criticized, and so we start being defensive. So these are some of the reasons, why people are defensive and how we might want to look at it differently.
Yeah, like in relationships, I see this all the time. I think we've done this. I think all people do.
We all do.
You ask a question, you're like, why? Like, what's all the energy about?
Right.
Where's all that coming from? Like, I went to the store. Why you need to know what store I went to, what I purchased, what's up?
Right.
So the question can come from a legitimate place because of things that have happened in the past.
Yeah.
And it creates an Achilles heel in certain areas, and you want to make sure that every I is dotted, every T is crossed, this, that, and the other. And then sometimes it comes from insecurities that were created within that relationship based upon behaviors, sometimes previous behavior. But at the end of the day, listen, we are partners together in life, and if my wife wants to know where I'm at, I'm going to the post office.
Just tell me if there's nothing to hide.
Well, what you doing at the post office? I'm mailing a book.
Well, but hold on, Hassani. Let's be real with the people. Can we be real with the people? We all know that if I say to you, what took you so long? Oh, I went to the post office, and then I follow up with that line of question. Well, what took you so long? The defense is going to rise.
It is.
You felt it right now, and you were just acting.
And it's real. This is
because
what we do.
how am I coming across? Sometimes it doesn't even matter. But if you come in with a lot of energy, what if I just come with a lot of energy, which I do? Like, I legit come with a lot of energy. I'm laughing loud. I'm talking loud. I'm loud. I'm animated. I gotta intentionally mute myself, hold my arms down just to talk regular. So some of this is just knowing your spouse. Some of this is really just acknowledging that you just defensive. Sometimes you just are defensive.
It
I ain't
is.
talking about you, babe. And need to tone it down and acknowledge that the person actually had a reasonable doubt. They wanted to know. It took you way too long to go to the post office. Maybe it wasn't even about you being up to something. Maybe it was just like, wow, dag, that took a long time. I'm just curious. Did you stop anyplace else? Did you go pick up some French fries? Like, what did you do? I want to know.
And some people do go crazy because they can't be questioned. How dare you ask me? I'm a grown man. I'm a grown woman. You don't need to be asking me nothing. I'm not checking in with you. You're not my mother. You're not my father. All this craziness. And there's all this noise in the middle of our communication that keeps it from being easy, that keeps it from being a good flow. And I tell you, communication is the number one struggle that people have. And that's exactly why we're doing this masterclass. Listen, guys, if you have not signed up for that, you need to go right now. The description and the link to sign up is below. It is in there. It is the More Than Words, the Secrets to Breakthrough Communication for Couples Masterclass, September 26th. It is $197. Let me tell you something. It's one of the best investments that you could ever make in your relationship because it will transform things. If you get one takeaway that makes the difference for you,
worth it.
Was it worth it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. It will save you a lifetime of
Okay.
pain. All right, we got some questions coming in.
Yes.
Danielle,
You
you're
wanna
going to
start
have
at
to
the
read
top?
them.
Start at the
Yeah,
top?
this is one at the top.
Okay,
Hit
here we
it.
go. Foxy, she says, if your spouse cheated on you before you were married and you found out years after you were married, is that grounds for divorce, or will God see that as sin? Well, it's always going to be grounds for divorce depending on how you handle it, and God is always going to see it as sin. That doesn't mean that it can't be restored, and it doesn't mean that God can't forgive. I don't think that the time and space dictates what it is. I think it just is what it is.
And I think a lot of people have been unfaithful prior to because their thought is, well, we're not technically married yet, so whatever happens before I do, it's all good.
But if you were together.
Right, but you're
that's
in a
what I'm
relationship.
assuming, that you were
Right, they
together,
were
otherwise
together.
it wouldn't matter.
Exactly. See, the marriage is a season, an overall season in the relationship. We talk about the 4 seasons: the dating season, committed courtship, engagement, and marriage. So let's say he or she cheated in the dating season. Well, that's a part of your relationship.
Sure.
That came with distrust, deception, lies, trickery, manipulation, whatever the case may be. So you find out years later. It's devastating to you. It's like it just happened. So there's a recovery process that you need to go through, even though it took place years ago. And so you can be restored. And I think you're right, Danielle. Like, the truth is 90, I can't put a percentage to it, but it's very high percentage of couples, when they experience infidelity in their relationship, typically it doesn't lead to divorce. But it's how people show up or refuse to show up after the discovery of the affair that determines whether that relationship can stand or not stand. And so if you've gone through that, listen, just reach out to us. Set up a discovery call and we can talk more about how we can help you out.
Yep, we got one more. So it's Tay who says, I have experienced infidelity in my marriage and just found out about it, and I'm not comfortable having sex with my husband at this time, and he's upset about it. What should I do? I mean, when you find out that somebody has been unfaithful, it's a shock to the system. There's a lot of things that shut down. Most folks are actually in a fog trying to figure out what has gone on. There's literally been a death in your relationship. So it makes sense that you wouldn't want to have sex. It makes sense that you're retracting and have fears and insecurities and don't trust. But, you know, the way God sees marriage is he sees sex and marriage as synonymous. And so you can't assume that you're going to have a sexless marriage moving forward. I think, I'm not sure where you are. If you've decided to move forward, it sounds like this might be very new. I think it's something you need to reach out. We need to talk to you and find out what's going on with you to see if this is something you plan to work through. Are you going to move forward or are you going to part? And I think that would be your first step.
I think we're getting past the stigma of reaching out for help. Back in the day, the idea of getting help and going to a counselor it was just like, oh my God, something must be wrong with me. And at the end of the day, my car out front, the transmission's blown. It's been sitting there for 3 months. It's leaking oil, and there I am with a manual and some tools trying to fix something. I have no clue what I'm doing. That car will rust and never get on the road again. I need to take it to somebody who specializes in cars.
Perfect.
And so likewise, you need to do so in your marriage, and we would love to.
I hope you reach out.
Really connect with you.
Yeah, there's some next steps that I would suggest regarding that specific thing, but I wouldn't want to give that to you here where I haven't talked to you.
All right, I think this is another one. Yes, I see defensiveness so differently now. Doesn't mean the person is being honest. Yeah. So I think, you know, joining that class, I think we're going to really give you a comprehensive breakdown of what it is all about. Daniel, read this for me.
Ashley says, having to realize your spouse is not your enemy, and it's okay for the one who is asked the question to ask after they've answered, to say, is it okay if I ask where that question came from? Good idea. And in that opens dialogue and communication. I think that's a great idea. Like, sometimes we do come a certain kind of way. Well, what took you so long? Okay, well, did you go to the left? Did you go to, like, we're asking all these questions, and the person can feel like, oh my God, where are all these questions coming from? So I do think asking permission, I love the concept of asking permission, because it immediately relieves the person of the defensiveness, because I've asked you and you've said yes, which gives me the floor.
Excellent answer. An excellent comment. Julie says, my husband's emotional affair that he would jump from one. Okay, let me read that again. My husband's emotional affair that he would jump from one appointment. I don't understand. If you can come back in and explain further what you mean. But emotional affairs are real. They're just as devastating to people as a full-on sexual affair. And so, listen, a lot of times people wind up in emotional affairs and have no clue that they're even doing it, because their very narrow, limited definition of an affair means penis and vagina.
Right.
Okay? And so anything outside of that is acceptable. It's okay. But that's not true at all. If there's any type of emotional or sexual or social energy going towards someone outside your marriage exclusively to another person, that's an indication that there is a betrayal and things need to be restored, right? So I hope that makes sense for you as you continue to think about what we're saying. I hope it's impactful. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. You've been listening to none other than Couples Academy Live. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Kendall. Me and my wife Donna just completed a few days of the intense marriage camp with Brother Asani. And prior to coming to this, me and my wife's marriage was in dire straits. We were on the brink to divorce and no recovery plan at all. We didn't know how to get the help or where to go to. And my wife introduced me to a few videos, and I watched them, and we decided to come and take advantage of this opportunity. And now we've received a clear path of how we can successfully continue in our marriage. It was refreshing, it was a life-changing experience, and our marriage is now on the verge of total regeneration. It was great. I recommend it to any man or woman that's having marital problems to take advantage of this opportunity. It'll be like none you've ever experienced.
And I would like to say, Kendall and I have been married for 38 years. This is the very first time that we have received professional counseling. And when I say that we were on the verge of divorce, we were headed that way. This program was the best ever. Highly recommended. Just come ready to work. You got to put the work in order to reap the benefits. And I have no regrets. I do it all over again. As a matter of fact, we probably will continue in some of the other programs that are being offered. But
we will.
We highly recommend it. If you're having issues, this is the place to come.
Totally agree.
I just love creating experiences for our clients.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know everybody cannot wait until the world opens up for real and we could get back to connecting and doing retreats and doing things. You saw that one retreat where we were literally jumping off of poles. And I don't know if you noticed, but that was me falling to my death. Hassani grabbed the pole and left me to die. But
Oh, Lord.
but we love creating experiences, and now we are creating virtual experiences, and we do a great job of making sure that it is incredibly experiential, that you have materials in your hand and things for you to learn. So I want to make sure that you know about this Unbroken retreat that's coming up October 16th through the 18th. It's $89. We've partnered with Nisha and West Stringfellow, who are amazing at what they do. We talk about this all the time. The last time we went to their event,
Oh, man.
they blew our minds.
They did.
I mean,
They
we've been
did.
doing this for years, but we were like, we got to step up our
We
game.
were like, we need to go back to the drawing board on this.
Right.
Because they just take it to the next level. So
Yeah.
the fact that we're partnering with them to put on a virtual experience that's coming up in October. If you haven't been to a retreat, this is the one you want to go to.
Yeah.
If you have been to a retreat and want something even better, this is the one you want to go to. It is $89. The description and the link to register for it is in, or I should say, the description of the event. It's at the bottom of the video. And listen, it's 3 full days, and so you're going to be cram packed
Which
with
is
so
crazy.
much
That price
information. Oh yeah,
for 3 full days?
it's ridiculous.
Cram
It's
packed with
ridiculous.
information, guest speakers, everything that you need to get where you need to go in your relationship. It's something you don't want to miss. Tell your friends, tell your family. Make sure that you're at this event.
Absolutely.
We got
All right,
more
we got
questions.
more questions.
Julie said, you gonna
Okay,
read?
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Okay, I found my husband having an emotional affair. I would catch them on Facebook, then on Meet Me, then on Messenger. Every time I would catch them, they would just keep jumping from one app to another. Lies, they had me playing cat and mouse games. I'm trying to work it out, but it's hard, and I don't trust them. I keep getting this feeling that they're still talking. Don't know what to do. He says they're not talking, but he has not given me anything to prove it's over. What do I do? Well, listen. My number one recommendation for you is to go on our YouTube channel. Okay, so we have 2. We have Couples Academy, and then there is the Hassani Pettiford Infidelity Recovery Specialist YouTube channel. Go on it. There's a video entitled "Your Spouse Will Cheat Again Unless," or I think it's "You Will Cheat Again Unless you do these 6 things." Okay, so you need to know what those 6 things are. If this guy is telling you, "I'm not doing it anymore, it's not happening, it's a figment of your imagination," okay, fine, bet. Let me watch this video. Let me write down these 6 steps. If he's willing to do these 6 steps, it's a huge indication that he is willing to do the right thing. If there's resistance, if there's pushback, and he's not willing to do it, it's an indication that he still may be involved in behavior. And at the end of the day, you got to make a decision about what you're willing to accept and what you're not. See, the thing is, I need you to hear the context of what I'm saying, because what I say for some may be off-putting. Hear the context of what I'm saying. Once you know someone's doing something, you know. You have evidence, you've got the proof. If you continue to sit there and allow him to do it, he will continue to do it. When you make a position and take a stand that I'm not taking this anymore, I'm done, it's a wrap, it's over, get your stuff together, that's when you'll begin to see a change. Because generally speaking, men are motivated by the fear of loss. Now, I don't believe in ultimatums. I don't believe in threats because it doesn't work. But when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired and aren't willing to accept bad behavior anymore, and you make shifts and adjustments, because a lot of times we're waiting for the affair partner to make the change, and we're not willing to make the change. But when you make that change, guess what? Something's going to shift in that marriage and in that relationship. So if you need specific strategies and techniques, because I'm being really broad, just set up a discovery call with us, and we'll talk you through some things.
Yes, indeedy.
All right, next question. How when your spouse had an affair, you're hurt and angry, but you still feel the need to be comforted by them? Well, of course. Of course. So the person who is responsible for the violation is also responsible for helping you heal. And so, yes, it's a triggered situation, because when I look at you, I'm reminded of what you did to me, but at the same time, I desire for you to take care of me and love me and help build me up. And so these emotions, if you will,
Yeah.
the love-hate emotions, the I want it, I don't want it emotions. All of those are opposite emotions that exist within you at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to reconcile through these emotions to get to a safe, healthy place where there's emotional stability within you so that you can begin to restore that
Absolutely.
relationship.
I mean, you still love the person. You know, this is somebody that you've been with for whatever amount of time. You're bonded, you're connected, and you know, the circumstance is that they have been unfaithful. That's something that you did not choose, right? And so now you're triggered by these thoughts. You have the thoughts of what they did, and then you have the thoughts of your feelings for that person. And those thoughts trigger feelings, right? So now you have anger, right, over the situation. You also have love, because an emotional connection and just brokenheartedness. And those feelings trigger actions. And so that's the space that we like to step in and make sure that we're guiding you towards the right actions, because actions respond to results. And now those results can be lasting in your life depending on what you do. So we want to make sure that you're taking the right course of action after the affair so that you don't make destructive decisions.
There it is. Okay, we got a couple more that are coming in. We got about 10 more minutes. I've been cheated on. Both types of affairs occurred. My husband wants to move on, but now my anger turned into sadness. At first, it was crazy when it all came out. We had plenty of sex. I felt confused on why, but now I'm feeling more lost than ever as to where we stand. Okay, so it seems like this is fresh and this is new. And when you're in the discovery phase, that's when it's the most emotionally volatile. And to the point that I just made, this is when you're struggling. Do I stay? Do I go? I love you. I don't love you. You're all over the place. And you need to have some type of assurance of the possibility of you being restored. All I could tell you is this is not something that you can do on your own. There's a few steps that you need to go through. You're currently in the discovery phase. You need to transition into what we call full disclosure, where you really unpack all of the details of the affair, which includes the what of the affair and the why of the affair. Once you do that, then you need to go into another phase where you begin to protect the marriage to keep it from happening again. And there's specific things that you need to do to build up walls of protection. Then you need to work on trust building, which is a process all within itself. Then you need to transition over into the forgiveness phase. And a lot of people have heard the principle of forgiveness, but don't know proper application. And then effective communication, so on and so on and so forth. So if you need more help working through those steps, reach out to us.
Yeah.
Listen, we're running out of time.
The time goes by so fast.
It goes by so fast. Listen, what we're going to do is we're going to hold on to these questions, and then we will use them for our following Q&A on next Friday. But we hope that you got something out of today's Q&A session. Listen, you are free to go to the YouTube channel to replay the video and share them. Share them with your loved ones. Share them with your community. There's so many of you who are in need of help. So why don't we not just hold it and keep it to ourselves, but share it with everyone we know so that change can take place all around us. So guys, we love you. Have an amazing weekend, and we will see you on Monday.
Can bring us down, can't nothing bring us down. Our love is too high, bring us